Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show, y'all. Look, Max Skip is got an AVO. He went to the clinic because he got dumped on his neck, and he got a bruise on his neck and a knot right there on the neck of it, where his spine is at, right? And it's causing him to have numbness and tingling in his arms and legs, and it spooked him. Now, when you're on an AVO, right, an AVO is restricted activities. You can get an AVO to just be restricted to the unit. You can get an AVO to be put on bed rest, whatever, which is what he got. Whatever the case may be, you don't got to go to work. In some cases, you can't even go to visit. And in his case, he can't go to visit because they don't want him walking around in case this is something serious. So he gets on the phone and he calls his parents and he tells his mom, who's at home, his dad wasn't there, he was at work. He tells his mom, look, he cannot go to visit this weekend because he's got restricted activities, right, for pain that he's having in his neck. So she's panicking out, asking him all these questions. How did that happen? What happened? All this. And he's being real evasive because he knows that they record the phone calls and they listen, so he cannot say what's really going on. So he tells him, look, my brother Coolie is going to visit this weekend. He'll see you up there and he could tell you. But then his mom was like, look, if you can't come to visit, we can't come in. See, Skip wasn't thinking. He wasn't thinking because he's already trying to figure out what to say. He wasn't thinking. See, a street dude would have already understood, look, give him a story, man. It might be a little bit gruesome. You know what I'm saying? You fail or something like that, whatever. He don't want to lie to his mama. He don't want to lie to his mama. So he looks around the pod for Coolio. And he sees Coolio, and he asks Coolio, he says, man, come and tell mom everything is okay, man. She won't listen to me, this, and that, and the third. So Coolio gets on the phone, and he basically repeats what Skip had told his mom, but he told her, he said, look, he's okay. And in the course of that, Skip had just walked off. He had just walked off. Now, his mom don't know that, but she snapped out. She snaps out. And then she said, why did you let something happen to him? Y'all are not telling me the truth, all this and that. Just started blaming him. Making him feel like he didn't do what it was that they asked him to do. That entitlement, y'all. That's that entitlement feeling, right? You understand what I'm saying? So he's feeling some kind of way about what they're saying to him. He don't get it. Because he's looking at it like, look, he's not my responsibility. But he did tell him he would look out. But it was the way she said it to him. It made him feel like he's obligated to do it because they look out for him. They buy him packages and stuff like that and all this old kind of stuff. And he was feeling some kind of way about that. And she said, you need to make sure that he's okay. And being a mother, she understood that she was shooting off way more than she had any right to. But she was scared. And she didn't want him to feel that way because they're not those types of people. But see, again, like I said, when you come from a certain background, you think a certain way. You think a certain way. And she felt as though friends look out for friends. She felt that. This is not out of obligation to the point to where because you're getting paid in some kind of way. It's just that's what friends do. That's what friends do. But it was the way she was coming off. It's like an arrogance. Or let me put it like this. That's how he was reading it. Because of the way he had been raised and the experiences that he had, it made him see through a lens that told him that she thinks this is what I'm supposed to do. She didn't understand him any more than he understood her. So he did feel some kind of way about that. Now, but here's the situation, y'all. Here's the situation. When you find yourself in a situation like this, you still got to play your role. Because now the plot is on. The plot is on. It's hard to pinpoint when that switch goes off in your head that makes you look at them, the people that you're dealing with, as, let's say, the opposition. But it was that conversation that did it for Coolio. Now he don't see Skip as a brother. He sees Skip, his family, as an opportunity. Listen to me. He sees them as an opportunity now. If they didn't want to see him for the real dude that he believed that he wasn't going to see them as people that deserve to be respected, that don't deserve to be robbed, that don't deserve to be hurt. He didn't see them like that no more because he felt like they were not seeing him as an equal. He felt some kind of way. So now his brain is working. So he goes into Mac mode and he tells her everything is going to be fine. Trust him. And be careful when you hear people say stuff like that. When you hear people in the streets, and it's hard for anybody, whether they're in the streets or not, but when you hear somebody say, just trust me, right? Well, most of the time you shouldn't, unless you're trying to reassure somebody that's young. You feel what I'm saying? They're afraid and all this and that. You got to remind them that you are a trustworthy person, that you're their parent, something like that. Unless it's a situation like that, usually when you're talking to an adult, usually, and you go to all the, well, just trust me. I got you. This and that. It's usually some macking going on. You understand? Usually some macking going on, right? So he said, just trust me. Just trust me. Trying to reassure them that he's got Max Skip's best interest at heart. So time goes on and the x-rays come back and they find out that his spinal cord had just been bruised, right? And he'll be okay. And they got ice on it for the swelling and heat packs and all this. And the bruise goes away and it goes down and he's fine. He's fine. See, now, brother them though looking at him, you know, the way he handled himself in that fight is, next time something come up, we just gonna let you sit on the sideline or they gonna use him as a send-out. One of the two. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, see, a lot of times when you finna go on the war, you send the ones out like that first so you get it's like a heat check. See what's going on to see how serious the other side is about putting in work, right? Put somebody out there that, you know, if he gets it, he gets it. If he don't, he don't. Look, I'm just giving y'all the realities of the lifestyle. You ain't gotta agree with me. I'm just giving you the reality of the lifestyle. It's a cold lifestyle. That's why I'm telling you, don't be getting in it. Don't be getting in it. Because it ain't what you think. Thinking all this and that and it's all love. I'm telling you now, just because somebody break bread and eat a burrito with you don't mean that they got your best interest at heart. Trust me on that. But here's the thing. Man, Coolio, he ain't got that much time left. 2 or 3 years. Going up for parole before that. You know, have a chance to get out and go home. You know? So he starts to plot. And when I say plot, I mean he starts to learn everything he can about Max Skip's family. What they do, how they do it, how they move, what they have, all of this and that. Because Max Skip talk too much. See, listen to me. Most of the time, you can spot a dude that ain't from the streets because they talk too much. Just say everything. Just be telling details that you don't even ask for. And street dudes, they sit back and they listen. That don't mean they always gonna try to use it against you or anything like that. They just listen. But when you hear a street dude talking, this is how street dude gonna run it down to you. He'll be talking or she'll be talking about something and then he'll say, and such and such. Or you know what I'm saying. They'll leave certain words out, names out and all this that and still tell you a whole story. You follow what I'm talking about? Yeah, but you feel me, man? And then, yeah, when dude went down, and then, yeah, but you know what I'm talking about when they go around the corner, you know what they do down there. See what I'm saying? Because he's expecting, when the street person is talking to another street person, they're expecting you to be able to fill in the blanks. So they leave a lot out when they talk, right? So, but with Skip, somebody that's coming from a different background, he likes to put in and fill in all those details. Most of the time, and the only times you're going to see street people filling in details is when they playing on the capo. Because they don't want nothing misunderstood. Nothing. But we just sitting around and we kicking the boba and all this and that, it's a whole lot of talking around and over the people's heads that might be listening. using certain words that mean this and that, and then leaving out words because it's understood or it's implied that you're going to know what it is that I'm talking about. Follow me? You feel me? You understand what I'm talking about? But see, Skip didn't know that. He didn't know that because, like I said, he ain't cut like that. He wasn't built like that. So over the course of the next few months, during visits, when they wasn't at visits, Coolio is learning everything he can about Skip's family. And he's doing it in the most deceitful, manipulative way you can do it. He's doing it pretending to care about Skip. They work out together. He had even convinced Skip to move in with him as cellmates. Now they're together all the time other than when they were at work. Working out together, eating together, just kicking it, you know what I'm saying? Smoking weed. He knew that, man, Skip liked to smoke weed. And once he gets on that weed, he just get to telling stories about his family, things that they do, trips that they take, when they take their trips, all kinds of information. How many credit cards his mom and daddy got, what the limit on the credit cards are, how they live in the lifestyle, all this and that. And then from time to time, Skip, because he felt like he needed to, he'll be like, but I get my own. I don't be on that. I let them do what they do. I'm getting out there and getting mine. All of that was just make-believe. And Coolio knew it. He knew daggone well that Skip wasn't doing nothing in the streets like that. The streets would gobble him up. They'd gobble him up. And he was always amazed at how he ended up in prison in the first place. What in the world could he have done to end up in prison? Went and bought him some weed, trying to be the tough guy. You know what I'm saying? Ended up getting caught. There it is. Mom and daddy get the best lawyer they can get to try to get him the lowest time or get him all the way out of it, but they didn't do it because they were living in a county where, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm talking about. They ain't going. Zero tolerance. Put him in there. They put him in there. They were hoping it would teach him a lesson, right? But to Max Skip, he looked at it like, okay, this is my rite of passage. Now everybody gonna see me as that dude. They ain't gonna mess with me because he did have a problem with a lot of people mistreating him and bullying him. You understand what I'm saying? All of that kind of stuff. But he's one of the guys now. All of the things that Max Skip had done were in response to him being bullied, in response to him feeling like, he wasn't being accepted or taken seriously. What? What taken seriously as a street dude? You understand what I'm saying? And I know you might not understand what I'm trying to say, some of y'all, but you got a lot of people that want to be taken serious as a street dude when they don't have to. The opportunities for their lives are way better than most people. It's almost like they don't appreciate, because Max Skip didn't appreciate what his parents had done for him. And it would make people like Coolio upset and angry because he didn't get that opportunity. He didn't have that opportunity because his mama smoked crack and his daddy sold it. And he felt as though his mama and daddy did what they did because they didn't have an opportunity. They didn't have choices. That's not true. That's not true. They chose that path. I don't dismiss that the fact that it's hard in the hood and all of this and that, right? But the majority of people that live in the hood, I want to keep emphasizing this in my show. The majority of people that live in the inner cities in the hood, they work for a living, y'all. Yeah, it's hard. They can't make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? But they still struggle and strive because they don't want their kids to end up in a situation like this. It takes time to work your way out. It takes time to build generational wealth. And that's what the majority of them are doing. They're trying. But you have those that make a choice to do what they do, and then they try to use that as an excuse and say, they didn't give me a chance. Who is they? We know what they're talking about. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it builds up a lot of resentment. And now, Coolio was going to change his whole life. He felt like that he had been put in a situation to where he could do something and change everything for him when he get out, so he wouldn't have to struggle no more. See, that's what we do. We rely on the criminal lifestyle to change our lives. Listen to me, man. We cannot continue to be foolish like that. But anyway, let me get back to the story, y'all. I was getting a little beside myself. Y'all know how I do sometimes. Now, here's the thing. It's time for Coolie to go up for parole. Right? He's built up a portfolio, a dossier, right, of all of the things that Max Skip's parents do, where they go and all this and that, how they hang out, all of this and that. And he thinks that he can hit them for this one lick and be straight. I'm talking about be straight. Now, he didn't consider that this is one of his brother's friends, right? I mean, his parents. He didn't consider that these people are his brother's parents. He didn't. That meant nothing. That meant nothing. He didn't consider that they had worked hard for what they had and deserved it because they put in the work. That was not on his mind. What was on his mind is they got enough money that I can change my life. Whatever they have to suffer, they have to suffer. Right? Coolie goes up for parole and he's granted parole. Next couple of months, he's going to be home, free as a bird, to do whatever it is that he wants to within the rules of the parole conditions, because when you get out, you got parole conditions. You got to live by that or they're going to throw your butt back in the penitentiary. So he's looking at it like, I'm going to get out, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to hit them, I'm going to be straight. Life goes on. Nobody will ever know. Everything's going to be fine. And I can move on with my life and I can have the lifestyle that I want. I can live the life that I want. Now listen to me. Because of all of the conversations that he had with Max Skip, he knows that they keep a lot of money and a lot of jewelry in the house, in a safe. He even knows where the safe is in the bedroom. He knows all of this, according to Max Skip. Whether it's true or not, who knows? But if everything is true that Max Skip told him, this is going to be easy. This is going to be a cakewalk. It's going to be a cakewalk. But wait a minute. There's a whole lot of things left out. He don't know the combination. How is he going to do that? This ain't TV where you take a stethoscope and put it up on there and you listen. This is not TV, y'all. It's not TV. It's not that easy to crack a safe. He can't take no dynamite in there and blow it up. Right? Can't take no drill and drill. He don't know nothing about that. He's not a safe cracker. He's a robber. He's a robber. So what he does is what a lot of people do. He get to running his mouth to certain people trying to recruit some help before he gets out. But see, he did it with the opposition because he could not dare have this conversation with the folks. They ain't trying to hear that. They not gonna hear it. Chop his head out playing games like that. Trying to rob folks? What's wrong with you? Ain't none of that happening. No. They not gonna let you do that. They're not gonna let you do that. Now some will, but most won't. So anyway, he got somebody in the opposition that said they know somebody when he gets out that'll be able to help him crack that safe. And they can get up in there. Boy, he ready now. They're ready now. If you want to find out how the rest of this plays out, you're going to have to tune in to the next episode, right? Because it's coming up. Y'all now, stick around now. It's been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.
I'm getting